All right, hey, we're here once again, another Zoom call interview with a gentleman I've seen many times on stage over the past, I don't even want to say how many years, Frank Hannon of Tesla. I think the last time I saw your solo band played here a few years back, but then I saw you play at Casino del Sol with Tesla, I want to say everything pre-COVID.
Yeah, we've had many great times in Tucson with you guys, and we were there with the Scorpions a few times. I mean, throughout the years, we've always come through there and had a great time. It's great to be on your show. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I was doing the math in my head on how many times I've seen you guys, and I think I've seen you guys over a dozen times over the years. And a lot of times it was like you did it. I think the first time I saw it was a tour with you, Great White, and Kicks.
Yeah, yep. That was the doubleheader tour we did back in 1989, I think it was.
I think so. It's like trying to remember. I saw you guys up in Phoenix at the old Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and then I've seen you guys. Last time I saw you in Phoenix, you did the acoustic tour again over at the Celebrity Theater.
It's been a crazy ride, man. Pushing 40 years. Brian Wheat and myself started this band right out of high school. In fact, I left high school a little early. I took a test. By the time I was 16, 17 years old, I was already playing guitar full time in bars and traveling. Went to Guam with Brian and our band at that time. We were called City Kid. And we were playing covers, but we started writing our own songs when Ronnie Montrose discovered us. And we had a manager that was really cracking the whip on us. And we decided that City Kid wasn't a rock and roll name for what we were doing. And we discovered Nikola Tesla through a book that our manager was reading called Man Out of Time. And we saw the pictures of Nikola Tesla and all the lightning and stuff. And we thought, wow, this guy's crazy. So we named our band Tesla and made that first album after 4 years of paying our dues in the clubs and everything. And anyway, that's the beginnings of the band and a little bit of that history.
Yeah, you guys have been doing it for quite a while, and I know we'll talk about the new song here in just a second. But COVID hit and the world stopped, and a lot of the bands like Tesla and a ton of other bands that I follow, the world stopped for you guys too, as well as getting on stage and doing stuff. How you guys, I like to consider Tesla's always been a road warrior band to me. It's like Tesla's always somewhere in the United States or in the world performing at any given moment. You guys had to stop. What was that like for you?
Well, for us, and it was devastating at the time, but in comparison to the whole world, I mean, it was nothing compared to devastating for the whole world. Obviously. But we had big plans. We were geared up and ready to go on tour last fall, opening for Lynyrd Skynyrd and Kid Rock and a couple other artists. And we had the big festivals on the schedule. We had just wrote the new song and recorded it, Cold Blue Steel, and made a video for it. And actually, the video that we shot during that process of filming the video, if you watch it, that is when I had COVID and didn't know it. And then when I see the video now, I could tell I'm looking fevery and sweaty, but I was so gung-ho and driven on performing in the video and rocket, I didn't even know it. And then the whole band caught it that weekend. And it crushed our plans with the new single. And so that's why we've re-released it now, because we're back on track. And I did a remix of it for guys like yourself to have a better version of it that cranks up with the guitars. And we've got a new video for it with the lyrics and a re-release radio remix of Cold Blue Steel. And we're back on our feet again. We had to get back on our feet, though. That COVID kicked our ass in August. It really did.
So Cold Blue Steel, what's it about?
The song is truthfully about the evil spirited people, evil intentions, and what's to blame. It's really asking you, what's it about? What's to blame? Come on, let's get real here. On the surface, the title Cold Blue Steel implies that it's about guns. And it is about guns in a sense of, we were inspired by the song Saturday Night Special, which is a Lynyrd Skynyrd classic. And just so happens to be one of our favorite bands. Leonard Skinner is what probably Tesla's biggest influence, if I could list one,
Oh, wow.
besides the Beatles and the Stones and Aerosmith and all that. But Leonard Skinner, Ronnie Van Zant, and the way he writes lyrics is probably one of JK, our singer's biggest influences. And he just so happened to be listening to that song that day when we wrote it. And there's a lyric in the song, you know, just like Ronnie says, why don't we dump him to the bottom of the sea? So that's what the song's about. But it's really, if you listen deeper into the lyrics, it's about the unfortunate reality that there's some assholes in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whether they're politicians or cops or whoever, it doesn't matter.
Yep. And then, so what's next for Tesla? I know you guys got a tour. Are you going to do a full album? I mean, as far as I know, this is all I've seen is this new song. Is there something else coming down the?
We don't have any presumed plans or deadlines for making a full album. We're gonna take our time and create one song at a time. We're working on a new song right now that I'm really excited about. JK and Dave Root and Brian and myself have been chipping away on this new song idea that we're hoping probably to put out next month. And we're having fun with it that way, as opposed to trying to cram 10 songs and getting them all done at once, and probably sacrificing the realness and the quality of the songs themselves. So rather than putting out 10 average songs, we want to put out a song or create one song at a time that we feel great about. And then at the end of that whole process, we'll put it all together on a collection.
You know, that's interesting because, you know, over the last decade, 15, even 20 years, you know, when you had the advent of MP3 downloads and now streaming, it seems like bands and labels, et cetera, it's kind of gone back to the 60s in the way we're going to release singles now and then put out a collection. We'll call that the album later. It's kind of reversed the way it was, because
That's
before you had to put out an album.
Yeah. That's how the Beatles did it. All those songs that the Beatles, Baby You Can Drive My Car, and all those songs, that's how they did it. They were released as singles, and then they put them out on their Meet the Beatles album or whatever those albums were when they got a group of them. Yeah, it's like full circle, man. You know, with the way the music industry is today. But the reason we're doing it that way is because we're old guys now. See all this white hair I got right here?
I understand.
And you know, it's like that old joke, you know, the two bulls. There's an old bull and a young bull. The young bull wants to run down the hill to get the cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that joke?
I've heard that, but please share it. I know where it's going.
And the old bull says, hey, let's just walk down there and we'll get all of them. So I'm trying to refrain from using the F word here, but
no worries.
You know, the young bull wants to run down there and fuck fuck one cow.
Mm-hmm.
And the old bull says, no, let's walk and we'll fuck them all. Something like that. You can edit this, dude. You know,
oh yeah, I got the technology to edit out the bad word and just put a bleep somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, well, guess what? So the song Cold Blue Steel Radio remix that you have that you're going to play for everyone here has a bleep on the word bullshit. And the technology I used was this cell phone right here. I just put a mic in front of it and I push the button, beep. And if you listen to that edited version, beep? It's a phone beep. Yeah.
I've heard it. I did not catch that it was a phone beep. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do it any other way, so I just put a phone beep in there.
Well, you know what's amazing is how much, you know, the advent, you know, when you guys first started out, when I first started out in radio 30 plus years ago, you know, we were on reel to reel and tapes, and you guys were on bigger tapes than that. Now everything is so computerized. And you can do things like, you know, I've seen a lot of these quarantine videos with bands, like Sammy did it with The Circle, you know, where they would all jam out in different parts of the country, wherever they are. It's amazing what you could do. And COVID, one of the things that I thought was really cool about it, Frank, was I used to do all these interviews on the phone. Now I can actually look at you while we're doing the interview. And so it's a really cool experience for me and for the listeners when they go to the website to watch it.
Yeah. The technology and the phone has really created a lot of great opportunities for all of us. And it's funny, Nikola Tesla I was talking about this with a guy on the airplane yesterday. He's the one in 1895 who was quoted saying that someday every person will have a handheld device that will transmit photos and movies instantly around the world. He's the one that predicted that.
And that was what, 100 years ago?
Yeah,
Or
over 100 years ago.
longer.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really amazing what you can do with emails and music. But nothing replaces the live feeling in a room. And thank goodness we're all getting back to that. Tonight I'm in Michigan. Look forward to getting back to Tucson. And I'm glad that we're kind of swinging back to some normality here.
So what's the thing about being on stage that you missed the most?
Oh, the interaction, the magic, the chemistry. It's like playing basketball. You pass the ball to your buddy and then make a play. That's kind of what it's like when you're performing. When you're interacting with the audience. When I perform on stage, I interact with the people in the audience, and I project my notes on the guitar to them, and they project it back to me, the energy. And the same with the guys when I throw a guitar solo over to Dave Root, or when I join Jeff Keith on the microphone and we sing in harmonies together.
Mm-hmm.
There's that interplay that you just can't get over a Zoom meeting. I mean, it's good to see you, man, but if we were together, I could give you a hug.
Yeah, true. It's so true, and I'm hoping that someday the meet and greets come back, because a lot of those, I know a lot of bands aren't doing them and stuff like that. But I have a question that I've always wondered. You guys have been touring forever and a day. I've seen you back in the 80s, through the 90s, it doesn't feel like the 90s were 20 years ago, but they were almost 25 years ago. But when you're on stage, in my brain, I'm thinking you guys are doing the same set every night or changing it up, and then, every year after year after year, you're doing the same song. But getting the vibe, talking to you're feeding off the crowd. Do you have shows in your brain that, like, do they all blend into one? Does the tour, all the shows blend into one? Or do you have shows where you walk off and like 10 years later, you can remember playing that show and the feeling you had, or 20 years later? Or is it like that? Or do they start blending in after a while?
No, every city is different, man. Different areas of the country. People are different. The shows, we change our set list here and there. We switch out some songs here and there. Like we got a song called Lazy Days, Crazy Nights. Tonight we're gonna play that. Tomorrow night we're still here in the same venue. We're going to change it up and put The Way It Is instead of Lazy Days. We'll probably swap those around. But to answer your question, what makes it different is who are we on tour with? Like if we're on tour with Styx, or if we're opening for Lynyrd Skynyrd, or if we're opening for Def Leppard, and if we're in Chicago versus are we in Tampa, Florida? And I can remember Tampa vividly because we got canceled at the last minute because of lightning storms. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Certain events that stand out in your mind, like, certain cities. London, we got to do the Abbey Road studio sessions that we did a couple years ago. I'll never forget playing the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, opening for Aerosmith in Boston in 1987. It's different. There's certain things that stand out in your mind, and different areas of the country that you go to and you visit, and then you return to them, and you get reminded of their culture. Because even within our United States of America, the different areas of the country the people can be very different, from the south to the north and the east and the west.
Can they react differently to different songs?
Yeah, they act differently. They some songs are more popular in certain areas. The accents are different. I mean, Southern people are different than Northern people. It's true. And so that's a pretty fun aspect of traveling and going to different places is meeting different people in different areas of the country.
So, I remember when you were talking about different experiences. I was at a show you did up in Tempe at a place called Big Surf. And I think you brought Steve Clark on stage that night.
Wow. Yeah. Big Surf. I remember that. I think, what was the band? Oh, Warrant. I think
Yep.
Warrant played with us that night.
Yep. I remember interviewing Jenny Lane in the station vehicle over a phone, passing it back and forth. And then that
Yes,
night, you
that's
guys
right.
surprised
When
everybody
Warrant
with
was
Steve.
getting. See, there you go. So you asked me if they all blended together. That was a special event gig that I remember vividly. And that was what? Gosh, that was over 30 years ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Warrant specifically, because I remember how great they sounded. I was like, man, this band is kicking ass. We're going to have to step it up a notch tonight.
And at that point, they were just a baby band too.
They were a baby band, but they were on fire.
Absolutely. Hey, do you ever, when you're on stage, do you ever look down? Because I know a lot of times when you're on stage, you only see the first few rows unless you bring the house lights up. After all these years, do you ever look on the crowd and you're in a different city and you go, I've seen that person before?
Oh yeah, we've got some dedicated fans that will follow us, you know, sort of like Grateful Dead deadheads that are really dedicated. And they usually like get right up front. And a lot of times, you know, and there's people that will be standing out by the bus that were there standing out by the bus to meet the band, you know, 30 years ago. So yeah, we have some very dedicated fans that love our music, and it's pretty wild. I feel very honored and blessed that they love it that much.
So you guys are doing this tour, and I'm looking through it. I don't see any Arizona dates as of yet, but I'm hoping that you'll be adding more as it goes along, or you'll be jumping on another tour.
Right now, 2022 is shaping up. Things keep popping up. My email keeps blowing up every day. Hey, we're getting this offer here, this offer there. So if you have a venue or a casino in mind, man, have them give us our agent a call and bring us in, because that's what's going on. Is we're waiting for people to approach us and make the offer to bring us there.
Yeah, because every time I've seen you guys before, obviously everything's pre-COVID. Every time you played here in Tucson, I saw thousands and thousands of people at the show.
Tucson always rocks. There's a great casino there. I can't remember the name of it, but it has an outdoor venue. We played
Ava, Casino del Sol.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so hopefully we come there. Our fans seem to love the casinos because the resorts are nice, and the hotel rooms, the food, the parking, and the venues are great. So hopefully we get an offer to come back there, and hopefully it'll be on our own headlining, or maybe supporting another artist like Skinner or somebody. And yeah, that area of the country is one of my favorites, man. Albuquerque, New Mexico, Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix. Always have a great time down there in the Southwest.
So what's the plan as far as the tour going? I know you're doing this one. I'm looking at your tour right now. You guys are looking like you're going through, you're pretty much in the Midwest right now, in the East Coast.
Yeah.
So then after
Like
that, you guys could be jumping on some tours, and then hopefully get out here. I'll talk to our people, because I'd love to see you guys again. I always have a great, you're one of the few bands, I go to the show, I know every single song.
Right on. Well, thank you. Yeah, I look forward to getting back there. Like I said, again, it's right now, it's such a rebuilding process. We're recovering from last August and the whole COVID thing, and we're just getting our engine is just now getting started again, and it really relies on somebody approaching us. So give them a call and please have them bring us back. I'd really love to get back there too.
I definitely will. Before we wrap things up, any more chances of you doing any more of your solo tours? Or are you going to be really busy focused on Tesla at this point?
Yeah, I'm focusing on Tesla, and I'm focusing on my family, and I'm focusing on this little puppy dog that I just rescued. Here, man, check out. This is Patrick. He's sleeping right now. He had a long day.
Oh, how old?
That's Patrick. He had a long day through Chicago Airport. I just rescued him. So I'm focusing on him. I'm focusing on my wife. I'm focusing on the family, and I'm focusing on Tesla. And I'm focusing on one other artist that I'm producing. His name is JT Lux. That's JTLOUX. I'd like to encourage you to check him out. He's a great kid and a killer guitar player and a singer-songwriter.
Is he on Spotify or any place where so I can check him out?
Yes, sir. He is. Yep.
JT
LOUX.
I'm definitely going to check him out, Frank.
He's my prodigy kid, man, and he's a great guy. And he's moving to Nashville next week to pursue a record contract, and we just finished recording 3 brand new songs for his second album.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, so that's my any solo stuff I'm doing is it geared in that direction.
All right. Well, Frank, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, hanging out with us here in Tucson. Hopefully next time we meet, we can meet in person. But it's good to see your face, and thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, and real quick, it's TeslaTheBand.com if you want the latest on what's going on with Frank Hannon and the boys in Tesla.
Peace out.